Thank you, Matthew. Isn't dentistry just a wonderful profession? It is. I consider it a great privilege to practice dentistry. I see this profession as a true blessing and calling in my life. I never want to take for granted what I am able to do, for it could all be gone tomorrow. I also consider it a great privilege to be a business owner and employer. In these roles, I assume great responsibility with what I've been given. My prayers are like this: Dear God, help me with what you have entrusted to me. And he does just that. I share these things about my perspective because it's how I better face the challenges that all of us face day to day. My name is Dr. Kenneth Dale, and this is my wife and business partner, Theresa Dale. She does a fantastic job managing our practice. Just so you know, she's in charge of our growth. Let me put it to you this way: when Chris Ad calls, they ask for her, not me. When Chris Ad visits, her presence is required and not mine. Theresa is my partner in business. She is my partner in marriage. She's my partner in faith. She's my partner in life's blessings and joys. And she's my partner in life's challenges and struggles. We are true partners in all of life. Can I share this? I think I'm the luckiest man in the world to be partnered with her. Theresa will later describe for you the details of how we've been able to grow. She's got a lot of insightful and helpful things to say about that. I want to next acknowledge our team who is here with us today. We have 25 of us here at Dale Family Dentistry, and everyone's here except one who is on a family vacation in Disney World. Everyone rearranged their schedule to be here. If you want to see a great example of commitment and teamwork, well, look no further than right here in front of you. I'm very proud of them. Please stand, Dale Family Dentistry team. I know. It's 2 rows. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Of course, right now, some of you may be thinking, what a cost. What a cost it must be to close the office and bring 25 people to No Limits. Yes, it's costly. But here's a better thought. What an investment. We believe that they will be better off for it. We believe that our practice will be better off for it. And most importantly, we believe our patients will be better off for it. That's true because when we become better as a team, we become better at delivering excellent care for our patients. Excellent care is why we exist. Today, we will share our journey, but in many ways, our journey is just beginning. I mean, we just expanded our practice and doubled our capacity from 5 chairs to 10, where we can do any procedure in any chair. That's a big change. Currently, our journey is fresh and green. It's brand new to us in so many ways. That's pretty exciting and a little nerve-wracking as well. Yeah. Here's what we can be sure of, though. We can do this with great confidence in our team and with great confidence in the direction that Chris Ad provides. I hope what Theresa and I have to share today can benefit you. That's our true desire. We hope to impact someone, just like we have been impacted over the years here at No Limits. We are not here to compare or impress, but we are here to inspire and we're here to be inspired on our journey alongside you. I want to show you a 25-year graph of our history. It best describes our journey. We were trapped in what I would call a 10-year dental coma. We had no growth. We produced only $500,000 a year every year, year after year. I could say that 10 times. Despite our best efforts, we had a declining practice. We could not turn it around. Well, with the help of Chris Add, this is what a rejuvenated practice looks like. Yeah, look at that. We went from a stagnant $500,000 a year practice to a vibrant one, soon to hit $4 million. This graph shows slopes of life through growth. Look at these monthly new patients. We had 196 last month. That's a record for us. Here's our yearly totals. Look at these hygiene appointments. We had 757 last month. That's a new record for us. Here's our yearly totals. And this is what consistent growth looks like. Our growth has created opportunities for us. It has allowed us to expand our office into the neighboring space. Let me show you our office. We have a storefront. We advertise with changing banners and flags. We want a comfortable reception for our patients. We aim for a smooth and calm interior design. We love organization and efficiencies. We like nice equipment and clean treatment rooms for our patients. So that gives you a feel for our practice. Today, I want to explore three things with you. I want to share how we are as leaders. I want to share with you the reasons behind why we expanded through associates. And I want to share with you our strategies that support our associate doctor productivity. Regarding leadership, that's Theresa and I. Theresa and I make a great team. We work well together, but we have different styles, different personalities, and different skill sets. About leadership, Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank says this: leaders come in two flavors, expanders and containers. The best leadership teams have a mix of both. I love that. When I heard that, I thought, yeah, that describes us. So here we are. She's the expander. I'm the container. Here's some other ways I would describe us. She likes to punch the gas pedal. I like to ride the brakes. She likes to sprint like a hare. I like to pace like a tortoise. She likes to find the on-ramps. I like to place the speed bumps. She likes to implement it. I like to think about it. She goes at the green light. Of course, I stop at the red light. She likes to pursue things, and I like to protect things. She likes to ask, how can we make this happen? And I declare, we need to be careful. So you get the picture. By and large, she is my expander, and I am her container. Think about that for a moment. Which one best describes you? Is your nature one that enlarges, or is it one that protects? Now, both are needed, but they oppose each other, don't they? Now, very frequently, actually more often than not, Theresa and I are on the same page. We pretty much only move forward in agreement. By the way, for this to happen, many times it's just a matter of me getting out of the way of me. It's sometimes hard for me to see that truth about myself. Frequently, I just have to stop myself from being the barrier and let things move forward in a way that is counterintuitive to my nature. I hope you heard that word, counterintuitive. John mentions it frequently in what he says and what he writes. It's a very important word. Look how this word is described. Sometimes it's best to head north to go south. Many concepts that Chris advocates are counterintuitive, like these. When to add primetime hygiene appointments? It's before you would think. When to add staff, associates, hygienists, assistants, administrative staff? It's sooner than what you would think. How to answer the new patient phone call? It's more critical than what you would think. How to pay associates? The production paid associate is far more important than what you would think. What insurance to add or drop? This is more complex than what you would think. How much to market? It's more than what you would think. And soft tissue management programs, this one. They don't, first of all, you have to have them, of course, right? But they don't benefit your patients and your practice as much as you would think. And here's the big one, $0 out-of-pocket cleanings. This will grow your practice well beyond what you would think. This should be seen as pennies lost and dollars gained. You just have to ignore your brain on this one and think counterintuitively, because penny pinching is far more destructive than you would think. It will impede your growth. So penny wise and pound foolish is not a good growth strategy. But it's hard to adopt counterintuitive strategies. It's just not an easy thing to do. It is helpful to do this as a team. So as leaders, Theresa and I team up and move forward in agreement together. Once we move past our resistance of each other, we band together on the same page. In this capacity, we function together as expanders. Do you ever think we meet any resistance? Oh yeah, from who? Yeah, the staff. Meet the resistance. They can be strong containers, can't they? Can I say that with them here? Well, yes, I can, because I value their perspective and see it as a necessary component of good growth. Now, I'm not talking about destructive negative attitudes or selfish complaining or laziness. I'm talking about valid and sincere reasons that on the surface may seem antithetical to practice growth. Please understand, I'm referring to legitimate pushback that has merit, pushback that is worthy of consideration. This tension that we have is okay to have. It simply brings forth important issues that need to be discussed and worked through with everyone's involvement. Now, we as leaders have two routes of managing these opposing forces that push back against us. We can fire them, which I don't recommend, or we can lead them into change. It's delicate. It takes more time. It's more work. It's more difficult. It just takes a lot of effort. But it's better to lead people through change. Here's what we found to be true. Committed people will follow committed leaders through difficult change. They will. Now, the uncommitted people simply just don't last. They are out of place. They just don't fit in. So as a leader of our growth and expansion, I welcome and value and try to be sensitive to the containing forces around me. To the leaders out there, and by the way, everyone is an influential leader to someone in their lives. So to everyone here today, don't lead like a bull in a china shop, but be willing to help build someone's bridge to the vision of where you want them to be. That's really what leadership is. Be a leader who builds bridges. Now, on the flip side, Theresa and I function together as containers. We frequently do that. We're united, we're together, and we push back against the expanding forces of, who do you think? Yes, Chris Ad. Oh my goodness, these people are pushy and intrusive, aren't they? Can I say that up here? Why are they doing that? Okay, I'm just joking. But not really. I'm a container. I like to protect things and keep things the same. So I do feel pushed by them. Here's how the dynamic works for us. When we team with Chris Ad, they are our expanders and we are their containers. Both serve important roles. Yes, as you can tell, we've drank the Chris Ad Kool-Aid, and it's okay. But can I be honest with you? When they say more hours, more hygiene appointments, more associates, more brochures, more growth, well, my natural response is to say, not so fast, take a breath, why don't you? I know, I can be my own roadblock to growth, but I am getting better with that. Here's the bottom line for us. This tension between expanding and containing is growth trying to happen. The tension in all these different areas is important because it directs good and sustainable growth. Without this tension, there is either stagnation if there is too much containment, or there is chaos if you have full throttled expansion. Consistent and intentional and sustainable growth is a good type of growth to have. It's something everyone can participate in. It's something that everyone can achieve together. And it's something everyone can be proud of. Good growth takes teamwork. Thank you, team. Well, next, Theresa wants to share the methods of how we have grown.
Well, hi, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for that sweet applause. Y'all are awesome. So how did we get from producing an average of $40,000 a month to producing over $300,000 per month? Got to make sure I'm on my right thing here. How do we vacation in the Bahamas while our patients were still cared for and our staff were still working? How exactly did we do this? That's what I'm here to share with you today. But before I begin, I want to take a moment to share our immense gratitude, without tears, trying to hold them back, for all the great people in Chris Ad that have helped us along the way. I want to thank all of our Chris Ad reps, but especially Bailey, who's been instrumental in our growth, which we're sad she's not here today. She had a wedding to go to, and we miss her being here, but we understand. We appreciate Bailey so much, and I want to thank her for her constant care, her guidance, and her friendship. I want to thank Corey for his ongoing support and for giving me the confidence I needed 8 years ago to move forward with Chris Ad. He guaranteed our success if we would just simply follow Chris Ad's advice, and he was right. I also want to thank John and all the other generous Chris Ad leaders and speakers over the years who've been so willing to help us along the way and so willing to answer all of my many, many questions, and there were many. Your encouragement and wisdom have been greatly impactful, and we say thank you very much. I most importantly want to thank the people who stand beside us and serve us serve with us our patients every single day who've made this success and this growth possible, and that's our wonderful team. Thank you so much. They're awesome. We appreciate you all so very much, and we thank you for being here. We can learn all we want in these rooms and strive to improve our practices ourselves, but I always tell our staff, you are our hands and feet. We cannot do this without you. Can't do any of it without you. So thank you, Dale Family Dentistry team. We love and appreciate you very much. Now I can get through the rest. That's like the shaky part, right? So when Dr. Dale and I were asked to speak at No Limits a few months ago, we immediately knew we wanted to share our story and our journey with you, to share what our practice was like before ChrisAD and after ChrisAD, and what we do differently now that has helped us to reach numbers we had only dreamed of just a few years ago. Our hope is that our story will offer encouragement and hope to everyone, and especially to those who are new to ChrisAD or those still hoping for a breakthrough to exponential practice growth. To give you a little background about us, Dr. Dale and I met soon after he completed his education at the IU School of Dentistry in 1990, and that was perfect timing for me, right? I skipped all that school stuff and got right to meeting him, and we started a life together. He became a partner in a practice near our hometown, and then in April of 1992, we were married. Isn't that sweet? If you were married back then, you probably had the same veil and the same dress with the big sleeves. I mean, all of my friends have the same outfit, looking back.
Puffy.
Within a few years, we were blessed with two great kiddos, Alexandra and Matthew, and you got to meet Matthew, which is awesome. Life was great. The partnership eventually ended a number of years later, which many of them frequently do, but it gave us the opportunity to build a practice of our own. So after a few years of space sharing in 1999, we took a leap of faith and built out our first solo practice. This was an exciting time for us. We had a lot of hope for a great future in dentistry. We had a beautifully designed office with 4 awesome ops with top-of-the-line equipment, including plush leather 8-deck chairs and the highest quality dental materials you could find. Our up-to-date decor was perfectly situated with beautiful columns, and we even had a water feature in the reception area. We did everything we knew to wow our patients. We even offered paraffin dips for our hygiene patients, cool lemon fresh towelettes, warm neck wraps, as well as provided coffee and snacks in our waiting area. We even offered what we thought were patient-friendly hours, as we were open one night a week until 8 p.m. on Thursdays. It was awesome. We also had a talented award-winning doctor in Dr. Dale, literally awarded in college. It was really awesome. And an outstanding staff who really only did A-plus clinical dentistry at every visit. We strive to be a yes practice every day, to make our patients feel at home and really like family. That was really important to us. Our tagline was and still is caring for you and your smile. We spent a lot of time laying in bed at night. What's our tagline going to be? And that was what we came up with, because we care about the patient, not only their teeth, but their smile, their heart, and their being. We cared about them so much. And we still mean that today. That is still our tagline today. We designed our office for our patients and offered what we thought patients wanted. But were all these things really what patients wanted? According to the so-called experts in the field of dentistry at that time, that answer was a resounding yes. We had everything we needed to be successful, so we thought. Over the next decade, the practice struggled, even though we worked very hard to perfect our wowing skills to help us grow. This was a typical schedule for us at this time. Funny thing was, on this day, we had no room to see this patient who wanted to be seen for a cleaning. We didn't know any better. Year after year, our level of production hovered at the same level and even decreased some years. Why weren't we growing? I literally prayed many nights asking, why, Lord, what were we missing? After experiencing a record low in production in the year of 2007 of $433,000, the same year we bought our dream home, the same year the market crashed, it was not a good year. We decided to seek an outside marketing company to help us grow, but regrettably, it was not ChrisAd at that time. After 6 months and $25,000 later, with no growth to speak of and only a suggestion to move our practice location, we had to let them go. Then in 2009, we suffered yet another bad year, producing only $470,000 and seeing really only 87 new patients for the entire year. We knew we needed something to break this trend and to support ourselves and our staff. After much prayer and not much money in hand, in 2010, we downsized our home, and we also moved our practice to our current location a few miles away. These were actually really great blessings in disguise. After being in our new location for a little over a year and still not seeing a significant change in our 10-year plateau, we realized we needed more than just a move. We decided to finally give a marketing company another chance. So in 2012, I reached out to ChrisAd, and I was blessed to speak with Corey that day.
Corey.
That's for you, Corey. That was the best call that we could have ever made. It literally changed our lives. I remember that call even today, and those moments when I was on the phone with him. They were very meaningful. I had been asking and seeking God's wisdom and guidance for years, and we finally began to get the answers we'd been asking for. ChrisAd had a proven formula that seemed to work, but what changes would we need to make to finally be successful in the business of dentistry? In the days and months to come, we realized there would be quite a few, but we were really ready to get to work. We learned pretty quickly that even though we were offering our patients what we had learned were best practices from the experts in the field, patients actually wanted different things than we were offering them. Wow. We had to surrender our best practices ideas and implement what patients really wanted. These changes were not always easy and often contrary to normal traditional methods, but we wanted the success that other ChrisAd clients had who had gone before us, ones like those you're hearing from this weekend. We wanted what they had. So we pushed ourselves to take the chance and take their advice. What else did we have to lose? Once we joined ChrisAd, we immediately got to work. We began prepping our first marketing brochure, and in August 2012, we began sending out 5,000 brochures per month. Within a few years, we increased that to $10,000 brochures per month as we grew. We thought we would see a lot of new patients quickly, but Corey reassured us that it would take some time to really start seeing a difference in our new patient numbers, and he was right once again. We're learning that, Corey.
Yeah.
We're still learning. We're still young in this. As a side note, in order to personalize our brochure and to help our community see Dr. Dale in a more family-oriented, informal way, we incorporate new updated photos of our family as each new brochure is created. I also think it's a cool way to look back on how our family has changed over the years as we've been on this journey with ChrisAd. And side note, it is pretty amazing that our son is working for ChrisAd now. That just makes me verklempt, it's pretty amazing. During the few months after joining ChrisAd, we also added the free $0 out-of-pocket cleanings. Most patients believe cleanings are free with their insurance, so we need to give them what they expect and what they want. This builds trust with the patient, so they will trust us with their restorative treatment later. We've heard some say, let go of the pennies to pick up the dollars. When we were struggling financially, this was a hard choice for us to write off hygiene balances. And our staff would even say, and I remember this, are you sure you want to write these hygiene balances off? It's a lot of money. They were just worried like we were. But we trusted what ChrisAd suggested and just went for it. And it has proven to be a great way to build trust with our patients. We also implemented a $49 exam and x-ray special for all of our patients without insurance. This may seem simple to some, but to our resident container, Dr. Dale, who feared discounting prices would just promote patients to start asking for more and more discounts. So that was really scary. But this never really happened. Over the years, we increased this fee to $59, and now it's $69. Inflation happens, right? And we've also expanded this offer to include limited or comprehensive exams and all necessary x-rays that we need to properly diagnose a patient's dental needs. We also began to move more fully utilize our intraoral cameras to help our patients actually see their dental problems and encourage the treatment acceptance. In addition, we no longer required our patients to jump through hoops to have a cleaning in our office. We began providing prophies at the first visit instead of requiring them to see a doctor for a comprehensive exam and full mouth series of x-rays as the experts had told us was necessary before returning for a cleaning at their second visit. We also no longer required them to transfer the records or x-rays from a previous office before we would see them. We also began to take x-rays at no charge if insurance did not cover them. We would just write those off. This was key to taking care of our patients quickly and giving them what they wanted. Within the first few months, we also signed up to attend our first No Limits conference in Vegas in the fall of 2012. This was a pivotal move for us. We saw and heard from so many ChrisAD clients who shared their helpful ideas with us that year, and every year after. We've not missed one since coming to No Limits here in Vegas since we've started, and it's made a huge impact on our practice. That's why we're here today, is because we've been coming here every year. We began to sip the Kool-Aid that first No Limits. It took us a while to really fully drink it, but eventually we did. Over the years, we have brought our team to several No Limits, which has proven well worth the investment every time. If this is your first No Limits, then you are truly blessed to be here. We no longer have to guess what works on our own, and that's a great thing. After that first No Limits in 2012, and in the years to come, we slowly, and I mean slowly sometimes, began to implement the new policies and procedures that we saw were successful for other offices. Immediately upon returning to our office in November 2012, what did we do? We expanded our hours on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and in September 2014, we added one Saturday per month. Wasn't that awesome? One Saturday. Baby steps, right? We were making these baby steps with our hours, but it was progress. And by the way, this is our sweet grandbaby girl. She's our favorite girl. We just had to show her off. She's our first grandchild. She had to make it in there. Once we returned from No Limits, we fully implemented the ChrisAD phone scripts. We realized that was really important, and it's key to transforming a call into an actual scheduled appointment. As I see it, there are 4 simple parts to a successful phone call after the greeting. Okay, the greeting's easy. You get used to it. You say the same thing when you pick up the phone. Thank you for choosing Dale Family Dentistry. Theresa speaking. How may I help you? So these 4 things are the hours. Make sure I get there. Oops, sorry. Okay. The hours, appointments, insurance, and giving a compliment to the patient. First, for our hours, we say we are open as early as 7 and as late as 8 p.m. and every Saturday. Would you prefer mornings, evenings, or Saturdays? Secondly, we offer 3 primetime appointments, and really more. Sounds like what John is saying and everyone here is like, give them 6, give them 7, give them all. You know, I get that. Patients want to know that they have a lot of options. It's also okay to offer appointments that are a short time apart. Sometimes I think people don't realize that. You can give them a 7 o'clock in the morning. You can give them a 7:20. And both of these are acceptable times to give them because that 20 minutes may make all the difference for the patient on the phone to be able to get there. Next, if the patient asks if we take their insurance, we want to give them confidence that they've made the right decision to call us by saying, yes, insurance works great here. We have lots of patients here with that insurance. It's awesome. We love it. And their insurance will work great in our office because regardless if we are in network or out of network, the patient will pay nothing out of pocket for that cleaning. And we will work hard to maximize their insurance benefits. Also, if we find at their appointment when they come in that their insurance is not usable in our office, if they are a Medicaid patient or they have an HMO or a DMO, because we're not finding that out on the phone, we're not asking anything about insurance on the phone, we will still do that cleaning for free. We'll give them the experience that we give to every other paying patient because we want them to have a great experience and tell their friends and family or go home and say, I really want to go back, so I'm going to try to find a different insurance. I'm going to ask my employer if there's another insurance that I can get, another plan, and then they can come back to see us. So it's beneficial to go ahead and give them that free cleaning every time. It's a win-win for both them and us. We also want to compliment the patient's choice of calling us over someone else by saying something like, you've made a great choice in Dale Family Dentistry. You're going to love it here. That's usually how we end the call. Complimenting their decision to call us instead of another office is a great way to give them more confidence in their choice that they've made. Also, the secret shopper calls are super helpful as well, even though our staff are like, I got a secret shopper call. These can reveal how our individual staff members are doing with hitting these important points during the phone calls. I'll review each secret shopper call one-on-one with the staff member who received the call as soon as possible. I not only listen for the script details, but I also look for kindness and excitement in their tone. I call this speaking with their tail up, which is the use of voice inflection. If a staff member hits all the ChrisAD points, but the information is relayed in a monotone or an I am too busy to help tone of voice, the patient will likely not feel welcomed and, in fact, may not show up. I believe the tone of voice is just as important as to a successful call as the points that ChrisAD asked them to hit. Getting this right is so important that our office gives an immediate cash reward for an excellent call that hits all the ChrisAD points and is done with a warm, welcoming tone throughout. So in our office, they don't get an award if it's just a great ChrisAD call. They have to be awesome with their tone as well. I want those patients to feel welcomed in our office. Another change we made after returning from No Limits 2012, this was our first No Limits, remember that, we're still implementing, was to implement the in-house dental plan provided by ChrisAD. This is a great product for our patients without insurance. Currently, our plan is $225 per year. I heard someone else say $198. And then for an adult, it's $125 per child under 17 or 17 and under, so it includes 17. And then $325 for our patients diagnosed with perio needs. This covers, it's a little bit more because it covers that extra cleaning. You could choose to give that cleaning away for free. I mean, there's choices in this. So you can build it the way you want to. Our plan provides 2 cleanings per year or up to 4 cleanings per year for the perio plan. It also offers 20% off of restorative services paid in full the same day, which is a real great thing because it motivates the patient to go ahead and pay in full that day. And if for patients with our plan who are not able to pay in full for the services the same day, then we still are able to finance them at our standard fees. Even with this scenario, this plan is still worth its value for our patients without insurance because with this plan, their cleaning appointments are about really a little bit more than 50% off. So it's still worth it to them, even if they aren't able to use the plan with the 20% off. It's still valuable. So with over 500 patients with active plans right now currently, the ChrisAD in-house plan has been a great addition to our practice and it has helped many of our uninsured patients. After No Limits 2012, we also incorporated assisted hygiene into our schedule, which was a vital addition to our progress. This allowed us to add hygiene appointments to our schedule without having to add more hygienists immediately. So this was a nice immediate fix for us, is to add that. I guess we had an assistant that was available at that point. We didn't rush into hiring. We were able to work it out. We just kind of moved a person, so that helped us to not have to fork out a lot more money at that point. And so we were taught back in the day, now they kind of teach going across linearly, more so side-by-side patients. For our practice, this is how we do it. This is a staggered format, which allows the exam to be done last on every patient after the teeth are cleaned and all information is gathered by the hygienist. This saves our doctors time on the exam And both our doctors and our hygienists prefer this order, so we have continued this style of assisted hygiene. I tried to implement the side-by-side here recently, and it was for our practice, they really wanted to keep it staggered, and it's working for us, and we're having success. So at this point, I surrendered. My expansion and me, wanted to push that, but we kind of decided as a team that this is what we were going to sit on this for a little bit longer, and the staggered works for us. So we're continuing that method right now. We also added an incentive program for our hygienists that we call our hygiene pay per patient. Our hygienists are paid a normal hourly rate, which is normal in our area. So our area hygiene, I would say, is you might start out at $28, and it might go up to $40 an hour. So that's about what our rate is in our area. So we pay that normal salary, just like you would hire a hygienist, pay them that way. And then with that, our hygienists are paid an additional $10 for every hygiene patient they see over 1 per hour. So if they don't have a lot of patients that day, they're working for 8 hours, they see 4 patients in that 8 hours, they get paid their normal salary. But if they're kicking it and we've got a full day and they see an extra 6 patients that day, for example, here on my example, well, then they're going to get paid $10 for every one of those extra patients they see over 1 per hour. In addition, we pay them an extra $5 for seeing new patients to give them that extra motivation to wow the patient with exceptional service. We also count their root planing patients as 2 hygiene patients because they can only see 1 patient during that appointment time. So we do credit them for that as well. So for example, if a hygienist works 8 hours, serves 12 patients and 3 new patients, they are paid their normal hourly rate for 8 hours, plus an additional $40 for the hygiene patients and $15 for the new patients they serve that day. That's an additional $55 for that hygienist that one single day. After the No Limits Conference in 2013, we added a hygiene coordinator. And this staff member is our lead hygiene assistant and also helps us manage our hygiene recare system, which is super important to the health of our practice. As John says, and we've heard it many times, as hygiene goes, so goes the practice, and this is very true. It's important to invest in this position, to have someone caring for the details of our hygiene schedule. The hygiene coordinator truly helps keep the hygiene department running and running very smoothly, so thank you, Suzette, wherever she is. She's our hygiene coordinator. There you are. She's awesome. One of the other important things we've learned from John and also from Justin Koch is the significance of perio diagnoses and how to best handle them with our patients. We understand that patients with insurance expect a free cleaning, right, when they come into the dentist. And many do not return after being diagnosed with what they often think is just an expensive cleaning. They don't understand. After hearing Justin speak on this topic a number of years ago, we decided that Dr. Dale would begin to pay the copay for our insured patients who were diagnosed with needing SRPs and to accept insurance only for these services. We wanted to eliminate this issue for them and give them what they expected and wanted, which was a free cleaning, yet still provide the services that they needed. We also began offering 50% off of SRPs for our patients who purchased the in-house dental plan, the perio plan. Either way, though. If they want to have them and they have the regular plan, go ahead and have an SRP, right? Making this perio change has been a great benefit for our patients and for the practice growth. We implemented a monthly team bonus after that first No Limits. We wanted to encourage our staff and share in our successes with them. We began utilizing the ChrisAd bonus system, which is based on a 3-month rolling average in 3 areas: adjusted production, hygiene patients, and new patients. In our practice, we pay $5 for every $1,000 over the adjusted production goal, $5 for every single hygiene patient over the hygiene goal, and $5 for every new patient over the new patient goal. As we began to grow in our staff numbers, however, we did cap this bonus at $400 per month for full-time employees to better manage our staff overhead. And I think that's important for people who are new to understand that we don't have to do it all the same as everybody else. We can kind of create what works for our team and that's still a great bonus for them. And at this point, we may change that later, but that's what we do now, and that works. It works. Part-time employees also participate in the bonus based on number of hours they work in the month. So everyone participates. Our doctors are also blessed with that bonus because they're a part of the team. I even get that bonus. Isn't that funny? Like, I get it in my little account over to the side. You know, we just all participate. We also began emailing ChrisAd eBlast out to our current patient base. This helped us continue communication with our patients on a monthly basis for the first few years we did this. We now send these eBlasts out on a quarterly basis. The eBlasts are created by ChrisAd, the ChrisAd designers, and emailed out to our patients by the ChrisAd team. We began using ChrisAd messages on our banners and flags, such as $0 cleanings for insured patients. Now, this message was a bit of a hurdle for us, I'm going to be honest, because we were worried about what other practices in our area would think about our $0 offer. Or if patients with insurance would ask us, why are you filing our insurance? If you've got a $0, you're marketing for $0, why are you filing my insurance? But actually, no other office ever questioned our marketing verbiage, and only a couple of patients out of thousands have asked us about filing their insurance due to the $0 marketing. And when this happened, we simply explained to the patient that they pay nothing out of pocket for their cleanings, but we also offered to apply those benefits to any treatment that they needed in the future. So we tried to remedy that with them, but it's very rare that anybody ever asks anything like that. During our first No Limits, we were also blessed to learn about Unified Smiles. This company has now saved us over $200,000 on supplies and lab fees and other needs over these past several years, really 7 or 8 years. They've saved us that much money. So if you haven't spoken to them while since you've been here, please make sure you do that today before you leave, because they're a great source of help for private practices on savings. We also hired the services of Profitable PPO, which is like 5 Lakes. I'm not sure, I think 5 Lakes is out there. They've helped us negotiate our in-network insurance fee schedules and also introduced us to new insurance plans that would be beneficial to our practice growth. This was extremely helpful to our bottom line as well. Now, as we began to grow more and more as a result of these changes we were making, our ChrisAd growth reps kept encouraging us to take the next step and hire an associate. How many times have we heard that? We had grown the practice as much as we could as a single doctor practice. Dr. Dale was by himself was seeing up to 350 hygiene visits per month on his own, and this was not ideal to continue our practice growth. They would keep telling us, you needed an associate yesterday. Come on, you needed an associate yesterday. We had 2 choices. A, we could keep expanding, or B, see a decline in our practice. Our practice would not stand still. This was a challenging decision for our resident container, Dr. Dale, right? Yeah. And it worried some of our resident containers on our staff. How would an associate or hiring an associate change our practice? And more importantly, how would it affect them personally? Some of the expanders on our team, like me, were excited about adding an associate and the growth that it could bring. I always believed that whatever God was leading us to do would be a blessing to us and our team and not a detriment. I had peace about this decision, and Dr. Dale came to have peace for his own reasons, which he will share with you shortly. During the 2016 No Limits, we were blessed to meet Dr. Schott and get acquainted and connected with Next 90. He and our ChrisAd team were quite beneficial and impactful in encouraging us to finally take the next step and seek an associate to help us keep growing. So in December 2016, we started the search for an associate. And in March 2017, our first associate joined our team, and we were pretty excited about it. Adding an associate was great for our growth, for the growth of our practice. We grew by about 40% that first year when we hired the associate. It required a lot of work and practice changes, but it was well worth it. In May 2017, we doubled our hours and opened our schedule to 6 days a week. We incorporated team leads into our practice to separate duties from amongst our already invested, committed staff. We didn't hire people in. We took people that were already there and had been with us for years and years and put them into leadership. We added an office manager, a clinical supervisor, and team leads in every department. We realized the need for this change during the No Limits 2016 conference when Dr. Dale and I realized that we needed to delegate duties in order to do our best and to grow the practice successfully. We also hired additional support staff to cover the hours and to support our new doctor. We increased our brochures from 10,000 per month to 30,000 per month to help boost our new associate schedule. We invested in a new up-to-date ChrisAd website, and we also signed on with LocalMed to offer online scheduling for our patients through our website. This has allowed our patients the freedom to schedule at their convenience at any time, and they're responding well to this new method of online scheduling. We also hired a company called eAssist. They're out there. Today I saw them. To help our growing practice keep up with our claims processing and payments intake so that we could better focus and care for our patients in our office. During this stage of growth, we also realized even more the importance of getting patients in the door to just try us out. So we began to offer free cleanings to our new uninsured patients. It's a great way to get them in the door. This allows us the opportunity to win them over with great service and to talk with them about our in-house dental plan and get them committed to us through that in-house dental plan. We also began to offer discounts to patients to fill our empty chairs. Once time passes in an empty chair, we can no longer get that time back. So offering them a 10% discount or even offering a service for insurance only is better than earning nothing in that chair for that hour if we have nothing going on. On several occasions, we've also offered a 15% off Halloween special and a Thanksgiving special as well. The ChrisAd designers have created these flyers for us at no charge, and then we email them to our patients through our patient communication system. We use Solution Reach. There's other ones out there. At no charge to us, at no cost to us. So it's something that we can do to get things rolling. If you've got a low day that's coming up that's special, like the day after Thanksgiving, you can get that going, and that's really been successful for us. We've gone from a $5,000 day to a $20,000 day in a week's time each time we've sent these out. In addition to emailing the flyers, we also call our patients with current treatment plans who also have insurance benefits remaining to offer these discounts personally, which has been successful as well. So that helps build that schedule as well. We find that if we save our patients money, they will frequently work out their schedules to come in. A few years ago, our practice really began to experience a lot of growth, and we realized we were outgrowing our space. So after persuading our neighbors to allow us to take over their space, after a year and a half of planning and building out, always takes longer than you think, we finally opened our new 10-op practice this past October 2019, and we are feeling very blessed about that. Before our opening, we also hired our third full-time associate who we love, and we love both of our associates. They're here with us today. So it's awesome that they're here. Thank you for being here. And we plan to seek a fourth associate in the very near future, okay? ChrisAd, okay? In fact, as usual, we are hearing once again from the expander, ChrisAd, that we needed to add another associate yesterday. They keep telling us. Since the opening of our new 10-op practice, this is what our schedule looks more like now. We have available appointments for our current patients and our new patients, and that's a great thing. But predictably, those openings will fill quickly as we've increased our brochures to 40,000 a month right now, creating the need for additional hygiene appointments and an additional associate to join our team very quickly. Since opening all 10 ops, we had our highest producing month ever in January of over $352,000 in gross production, $307,000 in adjusted production, and we saw 757 hygiene patients and 196 new patients just this January. And we are projecting to grow another 40% this year, and as I've said before, we are very blessed. Getting to this point of hiring associates was a big hurdle for us. but it has been a very significant key to our success in dentistry. We are grateful to everyone who has helped us to gain the courage to take this step. We went from being a great clinical practice with plateaued production to a very lively, successful practice, experiencing the exponential growth that we were so amazed by when we were brand new to ChrisAd just 8 years ago. We are blessed beyond measure, and we are very, very grateful to finally be experiencing great success in dentistry. Believe us when we say this can be your practice too. Now, Dr. Dale would like to share a little bit more with you about this journey and his journey personally to saying yes to the associate model and how ensuring our associate success is a key factor in ensuring our practice's success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to next talk about the reasons that compelled me to expand and hire associates. I didn't sign up with ChrisAd wanting to expand and add more providers. I just wanted to refine and grow a practice that was really just me. But it's hard to stop growth if you keep doing things that facilitate growth, you know. I've resisted adding associates for a long time. In fact, this is a little bit revealing. Just 4 months before we got an associate, Bailey, our rep, recalls me nervously at dinner one time, just fiddling with my napkin, stressfully saying to her, "I don't want associates." But it came to a point where I had to decide So I had a forced decision. I had to decide, do I want to replace a growth-oriented mindset with a maintaining mindset? That would be a radical shift in thinking and approach. I remember our 10-year period of no growth. That was stressful and a constant struggle. So I did choose growth through associates. I made that leap of faith. I jumped in and I yielded to growth. Here are the 8 reasons that compelled me to move in that direction. Number 1, asset and income protection. I was told by our financial consultant, Dr. Dale, you are at risk in doing it all yourself. The question, what if something happens to me, was the most compelling reason for me to move forward in this direction. By expanding, my ability to maintain an income is better protected, and also by expanding, the asset of Dale Family Dentistry is better protected. Number 2, employee job security. You see that group of people over there? I love them and I care for them, and I assume great responsibility for them as their employer. By expanding, we better protect the welfare and job security of the people we love and employ. Number 3, more career opportunities. Dentistry is a great career. Through expansion, we believe excellent employment is made more available, and that's a great thing. Number 4, it's overall best for the patients. Through expansion, excellent and convenient dental care is made more available to the people we serve, and patients want this. Number 5, higher purpose or higher calling. This doesn't have to be a spiritual thing, but it is for me. The question for me becomes, do I have a greater calling in a larger dental practice? Now that is an introspective question that needs to be considered very carefully. By the way, this question needs to be answered many times along the continuum of practice growth, because at some point on this continuum, the answer becomes no, and that's okay, because not everyone is called to follow a path like Justin. So pursue your calling. Number 6, entrepreneurial drive. There is a satisfaction in creating something good. The idea of not pursuing growth when the opportunities are present quenches something inside. Number 7, health protection. John frequently speaks of health concerns for the dentist. It does take its toll, doesn't it? Sharing the workload is not only a valid strategy for getting out of the chair, as some desire, but it's also a valid strategy for staying in the chair. I want a strategy that keeps me in the chair. Number 8, the practice itself. It makes good sense to utilize a nice facility to its fullest extent. It's also a good investment. So these 8 reasons have helped me see the benefits of the associate-dependent model. I used to fear this model, but it is now one that I embrace. I no longer have to nervously fiddle with my napkin at dinner when talking about associates. There's one more thing I want to touch on with associate doctor productivity. We want our associates to be happy, fulfilled, and challenged in their careers. To have these things, they need to have the opportunity to be productive. I've developed this chart that I go over with each prospective associate just to show them how important this is to us. It outlines the many ways in which we help support their productivity. Here they are all listed out. There's 18, and I'm sure more ways, but this is 18 that we've identified. There's not time to go through each of those, but these are all the things that we do to help make sure that they are productive. We have lots of, we do a lot of advertising with ChrisAd. We have lots of hygiene exams, lots of new patients for them to see. We have lots of staff for them to use. We train our staff, and we use expanded duty assistants. We have lots of chairs. They can do any procedure they want. We have $0 out-of-pocket cleanings. We have no copay SRPs. We have in-house dental plans, first-time free cleanings, efficient organized operations, PPO contract negotiations. We use eAssist. We train them and mentor them. We just expanded our office, and we use great top-of-the-line equipment. So all these methods help support their productivity. But here's the point. We want our associates to be very successful. Ultimately, though, their success must come through them, but we just want to ensure the conditions for that success. Well, I hope what we have given you today sparks your inspiration in your journeys of growth. Let me just close with these 3 things. Growth means change. Change requires leadership, and leadership is hard work. Thank you all very much.